Well, hey everybody, it's Mama. What's going on? How's everybody doing? It is Wednesday night. And is it Wednesday? I think Mercury is like PMSing or retrograde or whatever you want to say, because let me tell you, has it been an interesting day? How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. So I just want to let everybody know, please say hi, chit chat with me. I'm actually my guest. We're having some technical difficulties. I'm hoping that they can try to join us soon. Miss Kitty Litter, if you're out there, Kitty, I need you. So I need to figure out how we can get them on. If not, we'll just chit chat with just us and reschedule them. So I see we have quite a few people watching, and I'm sure all of you were waiting to see Kitty Litter. So like I said, we're having some technical difficulties. I need to try to get them in there. If you just be patient with me, we'll chit chat, and if I can't, we'll definitely reschedule them. Paris, you're bored and you're in the house. Yeah, I understand. Well, not the board part because I'm working. So I've had a crazy day too. We miss you here. I'll be back in Tennessee and Paris, hopefully cross our fingers for 4th of July weekend, and then again in August for bingo. So I will be up there hiding away, hopefully up there away from Florida, because what Florida's going through right now. So awesome. Well, thank you all for saying hi. If any of y'all can reach out to Kitty, I tried calling and we're just having it's just been a weird day. So I know we confirmed. But yeah, Kitty Litter, you out there? I need you on my show. Lord, come hide in North Carolina. Well, honey, Tennessee, Blount County has very little numbers compared to the thousands that we have here in Polk County, Florida. But we'll see. We shall see. All right. What's going on with you people? What's new? I really had this whole evening planned, and it just seems like something just, yeah. Next full moon is July 5th, and it's called the Black Moon. Great. Actually, the Black Moon might be good. Friday the 13th is always a good luck day for me. So I don't, all that. But I know there's a lot of stuff going on out there with people. Who else is joining me? Where's everybody from? I know I've got North Carolina. I've got Tennessee. I've got some Florida folk on there. Let me see. I'm just trying to send these messages to Kitty. To Kitty Litter. Does anybody watch Camp Wannakiki? Has anybody seen Camp Wannakiki season 1 and season 2 on YouTube? If you have not, you need to check it out. Check it out. Like and subscribe Camp Wannakiki and watch season 1 and season 2. And hopefully they'll be filming season 3. That would be nice, right? Check them out. Our Sugar Baker twins that run Hamburger Mary's, they started this amazing thing called Camp Wannakiki. It is really, in my mind, it's a drag race meets Survivor, and you have all these drag queens together at summer camp competing for a title. And of course, to give it away, season 2 was our wonderful Miss Tora, who is our Miss Rose Dynasty 2019. She brought home the crown, the Queen of Camp, in season 2, but you still should watch it. So absolutely. Yes, it is level 9 Jumanji. I just miss Robin Williams. That's the part I miss. I do. I really just today. Yeah. Do you think anybody have anything exciting and great happen this week? There had to be something positive that's happened, something good. Anything? Anything? Paris, have you been working? Are you still working from home? Everybody wearing their masks when they go in public? I do. I hope you do. You like my post today about umbrellas? We put an umbrella over our head, when it rains, but we don't completely get dry, do we? So wear your mask. Yeah. Martini's birthday was Monday. Aww. Happy birthday. I know Evie will have one coming up soon. She'll be 4. Evie will be 4 in August 15th, actually. It's crazy. She's getting older. As am I. As am I. So, let me see here. If I can't get... Let me try to reach out to... she turned 14. Oh, my gosh. Milo befriended one of her confetti balloons and then popped in his face. Oh, Milo. Milo. So it shows me I have 9 people watching and I have 3 people talking. Who else is watching? Hey, Mama, it's been a crazy day. Good to see you. Good to see you too, Christopher. Thank you. Y'all, Christopher is doing a fundraiser in the month of July for magnetic jewelry. I probably didn't say the name right, but it's really cool. They actually have a Rose Dynasty emblem on some of the jewelry, and I'll be posting that. And Rose Dynasty gets 15% of all the sales that Christopher's doing in the month of July. So we really appreciate it. Really do that you are doing that for us. I appreciate it so much. So, Mark, are you watching too, Mark? Hi, Hovik. Hi, Jill. Yeah, I don't know. I talked to Kitty Litter a couple hours ago. I hope they don't think that I was doing, I said Eastern time. They're in Texas time. You know, these Southern ladies sometimes lose track of time. So, how's Georgia doing, Jill? How are y'all up there? Hopefully y'all are safe and good. Hovig, are you enjoying your Rose Dynasty fan and stuff I sent you? You need to actually take a picture and tag us with your fan. You're all... let's see if we can get a hold of Miss Kitty. Again, technical difficulties today. I think there's technical difficulties. Magnabilities. Absolutely. It's really cool. There's some really cool jewelry. So we'll be posting that soon. Hi, Sherry. How is it up in the villages? Hopefully you're doing good up there. I miss you. Not seen you in a while. We'll be getting out and about. I'm not going to make it Saturday. I have to work all day. So I won't get to make it to the baby shower. Good. I'm glad you're good, Jill. I'll have to see what my schedule's like when I drive up and back. Maybe I can wave as I drive by or something. Y'all, lots of stuff going on. I just feel like I have nothing to talk about tonight. Oh my gosh. I know it was so hot. Today it was 95 and it was 103 heat index here in Lakeland. It was definitely hot. Hi, Pookie. Hi. Oh, up in Minnesota. How's Minnesota weather doing up there, Pookie? It's hot here. Not complaining, though. Not too bad. I mean, it could always be worse than that. So, yeah, Jill, I'll let you know what's going on. I do know that I will be in I'll be in Maryville, Tennessee in August for bingo. We're doing they're doing a bingo again for us. So I'm really excited about that. So I'll be doing bingo in Maryville, Tennessee. I think it's August 22nd. Let me double check. So yeah, Saturday, August 22nd. So I'm really excited about that. Ooh, 108 in your truck up in the villages. Wow, that's hot. Just our normal events, Christopher. We have Sunday or tomorrow at noon. We have our mental health and self-care chat as we always do. The big thing the big thing happening this weekend. On the 27th, they're launching the rainbow soap, and Rose Dynasty gets 10% of that. So we'll be sharing that some more. And then Sunday is myself and Miss Sherilyn Matthews doing Storytime, ending Pride Month. I am so excited. It's going to be a paint event. So Sunday, you're going to get to hear a story and you're going to get to paint. If y'all missed our paint event that we did, the paint night with Sherilyn, it was so much fun. Well, this is going to be a Pride theme one. It's a surprise what we're painting, but it's going to be Pride theme, and I'm so excited, y'all. So excited. And it's free. So Sunday at 2:00 on Rose Dynasty's YouTube and Facebook, you can read story with us and you'll paint. So you'll need a whole bunch of paint and paint supplies. So if you go to our website, go to Facebook, you'll get all the supply listed that you'll need. Just some paper paints or canvas and paints. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be a Pride theme. Happy Pride to you too. Come to the other shower on the 11th. I don't know anything about a shower on the 11th. So remind me, Sherry, please, because my schedule's getting crazy. Remind me about the 11th. Damien, it will be, right? We had a good time at the paint event last time, and this one's going to be during the day, and it's going to be Pride theme. And who isn't ready? I'm ready for a new Pride painting up in my house, so I'm really excited about it. So those are the main things that are happening coming up. Any more lip syncing? Lindsay, maybe I can talk Sherilyn and I into lip syncing on Sunday for story time. The teens and I are talking about another event, maybe doing another talent night, so we could do something like that, like a lip sync night. I know everybody enjoyed seeing me lip sync to Britney Spears. That was scary. Y'all hydrate with water. I did not drink enough water today. Yeah. I forgot about that one. I'll double check my calendar. Sherry, how's your business doing? Sherry's got a cute little shop up in the Villages. Really cute products and all kinds of cuteness up there. So my phone is acting weird. Maybe it's my phone. Looks like all my messages went through. I don't know. Our teens are really, really, really amazing. They really are. I love my kids a lot. Like, these kids are so talented and so caring and so amazing. Yeah, so of course, Sarah Ray and my friend Ruth were the two big instigators. I've got somebody backstage. I see them. Oh my goodness. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for this? I know y'all are talking about the Villages now. Oh, my bad. But one bad customer. It happens. I understand. My special guest has arrived. She's on drag time, but that's all right. I love her. I love her anyway. So let's talk about this. I want to show y'all this little video of their tape from Camp Wannakiki, and I'll get back to chatting with y'all in a second. So y'all watch this video.
Hi, my name's Miss Kitty Litter ATX. I'm a 56-year-old drag queen from Austin, Texas. That's what the ATX is for, just in case you wondered. My camp aesthetic, well, I like to think of myself as kind of a Southern belle, not unlike the Liberty Belle, slightly cracked and a little rusty. Now, the kids, they ask me, they say, Miss Kitty, why do you do drag? And my answer is, it all stems from my parents. My mama used to tell me, honey, if you can't be pretty, you better be pretty funny. Anyways, that's why I'm here. My start in drag, well, it happened quite by accident. We were at a campsite, and we had thought that it would be funny for a bunch of bearded men to put on some dresses and makeup or dance around to Diamonds or a girl's best friend. And then after that, it was kind of at the time of the AIDS epidemic, and people needed money, and the government just wasn't coming forth with it. So we decided that it was our little way of giving back. So we started doing shows all throughout Texas and later throughout the United States to try and raise money for people in need. And here I am all these years later. It's been a 30-year drag career, and I'm still on it. And I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to be able to come out and camp with Camp Wannakiki. What I'm a little bit fearful of in these challenges, I think that archery might prove a little bit challenging for me because I haven't used a bow and arrow since Fort Sumter. Also, the boat challenges might be a little tricky because I haven't been in one since the Titanic. The reason why I wanted to be on Camp Wannakiki is because I thought it would be an amazing opportunity to be able to showcase camp drag for the masses. I'm an old Southern girl, and we don't get a lot of opportunities to show our stuff, so I was quite happy to be able to come out here and share my little bit of me with a whole lot of you. The advice that I would have to give to myself in a younger version would be, first of all, marry well so that you can afford cuter outfits, and also learn how to do that makeup, because all these years later, my face is still a hot mess.
Well, Lord, I still laugh at that marry well so you can dress well. So I did thank God for Scott because he makes all my costumes. So let's make welcome my sister and my friend, Miss Kitty Litter ATX. Hey,
Yeah,
darling.
how's everybody doing?
Oh my goodness, that hair, girl. Did you pour too much peroxide on it?
Well, you know, with these coronavirus times, desperate times call for desperate measures.
I know that's right. I'm loving what you're wearing. So let's just get right to business. When I saw you on Camp Wannakiki, I was like, this person I have got to get to know. You were one of 3 people that I was like, I need to know. And of course, when I finally got to meet you in person at Austin International Drag Festival, we were sisters immediately. I knew immediately that you were that aunt that I couldn't leave my children home with because you would get them in trouble.
It's true, though.
It's so true. Oh my goodness. So how you doing over in Texas?
Well, you know, I guess these are trying times no matter where you live in the world, but we just trying to make the best of it. I work in a hospital, so obviously I have to get out amongst the people, but that's my muggle job. But other than that, I'm just avoiding people like the plague, which is the opposite of what usually happens, because usually they try to avoid me. So now we on the same page, more or less, you know.
Now you have a good excuse.
Exactly. How are things going for y'all in Florida?
You know, we're just rising numbers. We're all about numbers here. You know, I mean, we can't count votes and we surely can't count COVID cases. So just another day in Florida.
Well, our governor can't count either, so don't feel bad.
They must be from the same family. But, you know, I'm glad you're safe. You know, I'm digging this dress. If you ever need to get rid of it and have some extra material, I could borrow it.
Well, this is my like stay at home and cook dress. As you can see, I'm in my gorgeous kitchen. I don't know if you can see it in the background.
And them cupcakes back there. That looks like cupcakes on the stage and on the stove and everything. Look at you.
Exactly. Well, you know, we got to keep our homemaking skills sharp, especially during these trying times.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So again, welcome. And so I want to apologize. So I'm sure I probably didn't communicate that it was 6:15 my time.
Oh my gosh, I feel terrible. Now I know that there's probably people that have been sitting there going,
nope.
Yeah, well.
No,
I have Alzheimer's, so I don't think these things out too clearly anyway. So
it's
my
all good.
apologies to anybody who's been waiting, and to you as well.
You don't have
Yeah.
to apologize. I was like, I bet you I did not say Eastern time, and I got off work late, so I literally ran in here and changed my shirt and jumped on. So you're good. You're good.
Well, it
And
takes a long time to look this cheap, so you know.
it does. I know you're probably a distant cousin of Dolly. I know I am.
I believe so.
We are.
Absolutely love her to pieces.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about you. And of course, in your intro for Camp Wannakiki, you gave a good highlight. I love hearing your story about how you just kind of fell into drag at the campground, and at a time in our lives in the LGBT community and the world, people needed help. People needed money, they needed resources, and you and a group of folks got together and helped make that happen 30 years ago for our community. And you said you traveled all over the country and stuff like that, so you guys did shows and raised money. What happened with that?
Well, all good things kind of have to come to an end, or at least go through some changes at some point. And the group that I was working with, eventually, some of the people that were involved decided they wanted to go their own ways or do other things. And
Yeah.
I was fine with that. For me, it was just that I was still having a lot of fun with it. And my take was, as long as people were still willing to hand me money for charity, for doing what I do, then I was going to be there for it. So
Right.
I just kept kind of going. I never thought it would end up parlaying into like a career, or that I would be on a national reality TV show or any of that. It took 30 years to become an overnight sensation. But yeah, it just kind of, for me, it was kind of a progression upward, and other people decided they wanted to do other things.
So did you guys work in bars? Did you do like what?
We
Where did
just
people?
any place that would have us, really. We got offers to perform in everything from dive bars to huge venues, that seated tons of people. And
Wow.
we did some galas that were like, had big stars and everything else. So that was very exciting. So it's a little bit of everything. To be honest with you, I have a lot more fun sometimes performing in the dive bars than I do in a larger space, because there's more of a connection with the
Yeah.
audience that you don't always have when they're way back wherever. Of course, nowadays I guess everybody gonna be back somewhere.
Got to go back to the old days now. You got to stay 6 feet or further back. Absolutely. Oh Lord,
you know.
everybody's saying hey. Miss Betty Monet says hey. Hey,
Hi.
hi Betty. She's a big fan of all of ours. She's been following us for a little bit. Hey David. Hey Sean. Rochelle says Nana.
It's my granddaughter.
Oh, hey Rochelle. Welcome to the show. Oh my goodness. So Kitty, I thank you for everything that you've done for our community over the years. Like I said, when I connected with you, number one, because I work a lot in charity. Our heart is to give back to the community, give back to people, and I thank you for what you do for the laughs. My gosh, these videos that you're doing are the best. I'm sorry, better than any, and I'm not sorry, better than some or most videos I'm seeing people do. You're just being yourself and having a good old time. My favorite by far, and I didn't get to bring it up, and people are gonna have to find it, was your Tiger King rendition. I literally about
Oh,
pooped my
thank you.
pants. I was expecting Lion King, and then when you pulled out I was like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Had to go meta with it, kind of, take it all the way around. It was a journey. I've just been happy that it's not about making money or whatnot, although I don't mind when a few coins would come my way. But it really was just, I'm amazed by the the adaptability of the drag community during this crisis. Like
Yeah.
a week after the quarantine started, that there were already online shows happening, everything else, and people were finding new ways to express their art. And I thought that was incredible. So I thought, well, how can I contribute to this or whatever? And doing the little videos that that's how I decided to go with it. You know, I've also been doing some podcasts. I've been doing a few online shows and staying pretty busy for being locked in the house half the day.
Right. Wow. That's awesome. So what inspired you? How did Miss Kitty Litter ATX, like, how did this character come to be?
Years of alcoholism. No, I'm just kidding, children. If you're out there, that's not. Actually, it's just for me, it was like we had decided to do it as a joke when we were at a campsite one year, and we thought it would be funny for some bearded men to put on tutus and prance around to Diamond's our best friend, and then after that, people started asking us to come and do it, and we said, well, let's make this happen. As for the name, I had a beloved cat that passed away and was taken out the garbage, and then the kitty litter bag was there, and I thought, well, that'd be a fun name and a tribute to my recently deceased cat. And I thought it was horrendously original, and then come to find out later, years later, I look online, and there's like a kitty litter just about in every city. So I really didn't have the originality thing down. That's why we had to put the ATX into it to distinguish it from other brands of kitty litter that are out there.
I'm glad you did. So Rochelle says, you need money for supplies, Nana. It's okay to get some money. And I agree with that. It's okay. And you've given a lot to the community. And on that note, down below is a Cash App and Venmo, and there's Kitty Litter and my PayPal. So any money that you send on Venmo and Cash App tonight, I'll make sure that Kitty Litter gets it. Or if you have PayPal, send them some cash. Send some coins their way. It takes a lot of money and time to look that cheap, don't it?
That cheating.
I love it.
Indeed. I've got a special announcement to make. I was just recently added to the cast rather of Sean Benet's Madhouse. As of today, I've officially accepted. So I'll be doing shows with them periodically, and we'll see how that goes. But terribly excited. They've been very welcoming to just all styles of drag, so I was happy to get on board with them. And also big shout out to Camp Wannakiki for their efforts at providing a space for inclusivity, you know, because we all need that. All kinds of drag are valid, and everybody should have a place at the table, whether you are a male or a female or trans or black, white, Puerto Rican, whatever you are. That you should be able to express yourself in your art without fear of retribution or without being discriminated against.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. I've talked about this several times on my chit chats of how impressed I was with the Austin International Drag Festival and how it just opened my eyes to so much talent and so much creativity, and just it didn't matter if the person you considered to be an amazing performer or a new performer who's not as, you know, there was no more talented, you know, everybody was just on the same level of acceptance. And like, I learned so much. It was inspired so much and met some amazing people. So, you know, even with Austin International Drag Festival, that was such a great opportunity. And like you said, with Camp Wannakiki, we've got season 1 and 2 out, and you know, there's talk about season 3 being filmed and some casts being, you know, auditioned for. You never know who you might see there. So, you know, giving that platform is so important. And that's why I do what I do with my kids. I tell my kids, even my drag kids, you don't have to look like me. You don't have to look like that other drag queen. Create your own drag, create your own art and your own expression. And I think that's important. Let's see. Somebody said, I would love to raise money for charity as my alter ego. I long to be a part of a drag world to help others and realizing my own identity. Absolutely, David. You're going to find it. You'll get there, David. So what made you audition for Camp Wannakiki?
What made me audition for Camp Wannakiki? Well, I already had restraining orders from RuPaul and from the Boulay brothers. So Camp Wannakiki seemed like a natural choice. Actually, in truth, that I had already watched the show on YouTube and found that it really spoke to me as a performer. That not only did they have the inclusive thing going on, but it was about comedy. There wasn't all the drama that
Right.
some other shows might have. And it just looked like a fun, friendly environment. And I wanted to so much be a part of that. And they auditioned literally thousands of drag performers throughout the United States. So when they called me, I was just ecstatic. I was like, I'm older than Moses or whatnot. Back in my day, our biggest concern doing drag was the pterodactyls swooping down to steal our tips. So the fact that I got that chance from Camp Wannakiki was absolutely amazing to me. I was just ecstatic. And I'm hugely grateful to Hamburger Mary's and the Sugar Baker twins and Dear Ruthie for that opportunity.
Absolutely.
And I encourage everyone out there, everyone should audition for this show because it's an experience of a lifetime. You'll meet friends. Of course, Tora, who's an absolute doll. I was so proud of her for winning. And then, of course, all my other finalists that I was with, and just really everybody in the cast and the crew were amazing. So I have nothing bad to say at all about the show.
I do. I love, and that was the thing. And even Tora and others have said that, there wasn't the drama. There wasn't, it was a competition, but there was not that animosity. You all were family, I'm sure not everybody got along, but it wasn't what we see. And even on TV or on YouTube, they're portraying what really happened. Like, I think they did a really good job even to show that there wasn't the drama, there wasn't the backstabbing and all that. So that made me really interested in it. That's for sure.
Well, you absolutely would be fabulous on it. I can still remember you showing up at Dragon Fest and walking in just looking like a beautiful float in the Terminator Roses parade. It was just like this rose spectacular. And speaking of roses, thank you for all your work with the Rose Dynasty Foundation. I think that's incredible what you do.
Thank you. I did look like a big float coming in there. That's for sure. That hoop dress I have, I could fit 4 people on it, I'm sure. It's huge.
Well, no, I didn't mean like No, I would refer to the size, just the beauty there. There was
I know, I appreciate
Rose festival going on. It was really something.
It's all right. I always laugh at it because I can never go. I can't sit. I can't do that. 5 hoop skirt is so massive. Like I've tripped over it. I've been on the back of a float and I'm like a bell. I swear every time it moves you hear ding ding. So it's massive. And see, I married well. My husband
Hoop skirts are not forgiving when you want to sit down. I totally understand.
I think you and I both were in a hoop skirt one day at when you had your white one on, and I remember I'm like, girl, do you need me to help you? Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
so,
I think that was kind of a.
No, I think I lost you there for a second. There we are. It froze. That gum internet.
Gotta love technology. I'm still trying to catch up to y'all.
I love it. You did it. We were going to meet up early and get you on here, and you just popped right on. I was like, I didn't have to help you. You did it. My instructions must have been good.
Hey, that's what it is. You're a good teacher because otherwise I would have probably been still sitting there pressing buttons right now going, how do you turn this thing on? I literally didn't even have, when Camp Wannakiki started, I didn't even have barely had started an Instagram account or anything, Back
Wow.
in my day, it was all cave drawings and smoke signals. So all this Twitter and tweets and Twitch and everything, I'm just still trying to catch up with.
It's all right. I understand. You're doing good. I mean, you're keeping up with Facebook. You're putting them videos out. You're replying to messages, so you're doing good. So I want to ask you too. Another thing that we have in common is we do story time, and you. I know this is such a touchy situation out in Austin. You have been through hell and high. You have been through hell and high water, as we say in the South, within Austin, and you know, I've laughed with you. I've literally cried with you from a distance, reading and knowing everything you've gone through, and you've brought such joy to kids and to families. And we had our open discussion at Austin Drag Festival, and hearing your story and hearing other drag entertainers' stories, it was so moving and inspiring for me. Obviously, at that point I had been new to doing story time. You've done such great work, and you've had a lot of protests and backlash and just all this mess. And if people watching don't understand and know, just understand that Kitty has been through a mess with some crazy people, and you've stood strong, and even when you didn't think you were strong, and your community has backed you. And unfortunately, obviously, before COVID, your doors open to places that probably wouldn't normally have been able to do story time. And it's inspired me as an entertainer. I know it's inspired a lot of other people. How long have you been doing story time with kids now?
Well, I guess it's a couple of years now. Initially, I was asked to do by the board of the Austin International Drag Festival for a pride event that was happening. And at the time, I had said, well, I don't know that I'm the most family drag out there or that I'm even kid friendly or whatnot. So this may not be my gig. But I decided to give it a try and found just really it to be one of the best experiences I've ever had as a drag entertainer, because the kids were so funny and wonderful. And the meanest thing they had to say was, we like your pretty sparkly necklace. I can live with an audience like that.
Yeah.
So when I guess it was right after I got back from Camp Wannakiki, I had all the fallout from the religious right, that I was really taken aback and thought, well, what is going on here? Why are these people mad that somebody wants to entertain children in a way that's not harmful? I just didn't get it, but it's not unique to me. Maybe I was the more publicized people for it, but yeah, I know that it's happened to people throughout the United States, to drag entertainers. Kings and queens out there have had to go through this. I'm sure you've had your experiences, as we talked about, and it's just one of those things. If something's worth doing, then sometimes you just have to fight to have to keep doing it, have your voice heard.
Absolutely. And I love that you recognize, because we know, and we and I were joking yesterday when we were talking about the broadcast of keeping it family friendly and stuff like that. That's, first of all, that's a great sign of an entertainer. When to turn certain things off and when not to. And I know entertainers that can't. I know entertainers that I would not give my microphone to save my life, because I know they don't know how to turn things off. And I respect all types of drag. But what I love what you said is, when you experience it, and it's so true, when you sit down and you read those stories to kids and you talk about life lessons and you talk about joy and you talk about love and acceptance, and like it is a life changer. Like for me, it I've worked with kids and youth my whole career, but when I started doing story time, there was something different that happened because I was taking a younger generation and imparting such a positive thought and a positive message into them. I was getting something out of it too, and I felt like I grew. And like you said, so many of us entertainers have been, articles have been written, protests have been happening, and all that, and but just pure hatred and or just pure ignorance. And people don't know how to separate those two, that your personal life and your personal entertainment that you do has nothing to do with the fact of what you do and show to these kids, because everything that you've done has been pure and innocent, and kids get your sense of humor. They get that, and I love that. So you've definitely endured, and we have to be fighters. We have to be a good example to say, what, we may face adversity, but we're going to be strong and we're going to come out of this, because we do have a younger generation that's going to come up behind us. And if we don't impart and show them all different types of entertainment, all different types of drag, and all different types of things like that, we're going to lose what we've plowed hard, like what you as an entertainer have plowed the field for. So I know, like you said, it's been a touchy thing, and COVID kind of gave you a little break, I'm sure, because you've not really been out as much, but thank you for that strength, because I know reading the articles and reading your messages, my heart broke so many times. And, I've sent you messages because I was like, I can't even imagine. I remember sitting in the discussion in Austin with you and several other entertainers who have experienced, I've been blessed. I've been very privileged and blessed not to, knock on wood, we're in a private facility on a private road. The closest the protesters can get is like a half a mile away. I've been lucky, but when I started hearing the stories of the heartache and the struggle, it made me realize how blessed I was. That of course I've had my own issues and struggles with people, but that to know that you forerunners of this have really made a way for some of us to have it a little bit easier. And I think it's important for anyone in entertainment to recognize that. We all need that aunt that I can't trust with my kids, because you've been there and done that, and I love it.
Yeah, I've just been very fortunate to have those kind of opportunities. I think that the most exciting thing about drag is that it kind of has gone from just being about being on stage to you can use it to do a lot of other things. I've got to do the drag story time. I've got to encourage people to get out and vote through Drag Vote. So you get to incorporate politics, and you get to incorporate using your own voice and putting out a message of positivity to the world. So it's not just about, doing a 3-minute lip sync to Ariana Grande or whatever, although that is amazing. And
Yeah.
yay for those that do that. But yeah, it can open up doors for you to do other things. And for that, I'm just truly grateful.
While we're chit-chatting, y'all, feel free to chime in. We'll probably about another 15-20 minutes on here, but ask some questions. If you have some questions for Miss Kitty or for myself, please feel free to chime in and we'll answer them. On Camp Wannakiki, what was the most difficult challenge you had?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last question.
On Camp Wannakiki, what was the most challenging challenge? Like, what was the most difficult challenge you had?
Okay. I've got this. Absolutely, for me, it was the high wire thing. I had put in my application. They specifically asked if we had anything that we were afraid of, and I of course said heights. I absolutely hate heights. So we get there. Of course, one of our first challenges was climb up this telephone pole and walk across the wire. And I was like, "Are y'all mad? What have you?" I just can't. But it was one of the last ones to go and watch. Is all the other people go ahead of me, I thought, well, I'm not going to get shown up today. So I went ahead and did it, and actually did fairly well on it. Um, but I'm not going to lie and say that as the kitty, I think I used up 8 of my 9 lives on that walk across that fire thing. It was a lot.
I'm sure. I remember we were watching it with Tora at the premiere, and I was like, oh no, if I audition, uh I can't even zip line without breaking a sweat and almost vomiting everywhere. But because I was talking to Boris last week, and Boris was like, it was hard for them too, I know. And they kind of shared the behind the scenes of what happened in that experience. I don't know. First of all, climbing up a pole, walking across the high wire, and doing this rope course in drag. First of all, out of drag is hard enough, but in drag, that's a whole nother world. That one obviously made me sweat bullets too, and I didn't even participate in it. So yeah, I and that seems to be a lot like what a lot of people were saying.
That was pretty tough. Although I have to ups to Dragula because they had their folks jumping out of airplanes, and I was like, oh no.
Thank you for the restraining order, Dragula.
Right.
So what was your highlight?
Baker twins are probably taking down notes. What
can
we do
I need to
make
block
this
them.
even more tough this year?
I need to block both of them from this broadcast. If you're listening, do not quote me on any of this.
Right.
I'm kind of scared now. But so what was your highlight? Like what was your favorite part?
Well, there was a couple people I actually knew when I got there, so getting to see them again was kind of a treat. Also, when they announced that I had made it into the finals, because on the first day that I was there, I'd already discounted myself a little bit and thought that I probably wasn't going to stay very long. So when they had announced that I had made it, they did a final four, I was just beside myself. I didn't think I was in shock for an hour ago. What just really happened? So that was really a great experience. And also, just from a heart standpoint, there was a couple times that we actually, outside of the performance part of it, that we got to, as campers, get down and sit and have some heart-to-heart chats about our lives and our backgrounds. And hearing the stories from some of those other performers was very moving to me, because you don't really think about what people go through just to get to put on, a costume and entertain. But for some folks, they have been through one heck of a journey. So hearing those stories was so inspiring to me.
Yeah. And I've gotten to know a few and know some stories, and I agree. I think we as humans forget that there's always a story behind everything. Not everything on Facebook is face value. Not everything in the media is face value. Not everybody's face is really face value. There's always stories behind it. And I love to hear people's journey. And I agree with you. Like, that would be probably one of my favorite times, of just hearing people's journeys and what they've gone through to become who they are. Anybody else have any questions?
You mean not everything on the internet is real?
Well, Kitty, just so you know, I know you're new to it. Everything you read on Facebook is true.
Oh, wonderful. I'm so relieved, because I was starting to question some things, but now that I know they're all factual, well, I could just breathe easier at night. Because
who needs real media? We just got Facebook.
These days, reality is highly overrated, y'all, especially nowadays. Give me the fantasy any day, because some of the stuff we're going through outside the door is a lot.
It sure is. And I love what you say. Your mom always said, if you can't be pretty, you got to be pretty funny. Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, Mom used to say, if you can't be pretty, you better be pretty funny. And if you can't be pretty funny, then we know an adoption agency we can send you to. Mom was a darling. She really was.
I'm glad that she instilled that in you because comedy is so important. You're funny. You're very witty. Your comebacks are, I wish I had half the wit sometimes that you do. But I just
Well,
love.
I have been called a half-wit, actually. Yes.
I love it. Do y'all have any questions for Kitty? Come on, y'all. Everybody's been quiet, just watching, listening to us banter back and forth. I guess they like two older
Probably the
ladies.
IRS is going to ask my address or something so they can send the feds after me.
Pennsylvania Avenue. That's where she lives.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, yes. Just look for the orange faced creature, and that's me. Yeah. Take me away.
who who are some inspirations you have? Like who are some people that inspire you as a person and you as a entertainer?
Oh, okay. Well, gosh, as a person, really anybody who's fought for rights. Of course, Harvey Milk comes to mind, Harriet Tubman, uh, Rosa Parks, people who have stood up and said that they demand to be counted. But as far as entertainers go, because of my, I guess, maybe twisted sense of humor or whatnot, I really enjoyed John Waters, Divine, the Coquette, or an early drag troupe out of San Francisco. If you haven't heard of them, do yourself a favor and research them because they're amazing. Also, currently, I guess I would say that I've just fallen in love with like Alaska and Ginger Minge. Um, who else have I seen that just had me in hysterics? Sherry Vine, Jackie B. The list goes on and on. There's just some amazing. Locally, really everybody has inspired me in some way because everybody brings something. I can sit there and watch a show and see somebody in a $2 dress and a ratty wig and just be very entertained if they're really giving it to me.
Right.
Um, and likewise, I can see somebody who spent $4,000 on a pageant gown and they're just giving me life with their looks and everything. So everybody I see, and I can honestly say this from all spectrums of drag, has given me a little bit of something, and I really am thankful and appreciative that people actually are brave enough to share their art because
Yeah.
it takes a lot to put yourself out there. It really does.
It does. And not all of us are extroverts. I know plenty of entertainers that aren't extroverts until they put a dress and a wig on. And even those of us that are, I still get nervous. I've been doing this 18 years off and on, and I still, when I step out on stage, I still get nervous. I'll do my token song, the song I do Wanted. I will do that, and I've done that 50 times. But I'll still, as soon as the music starts, I'll be like, oh crap, what were the words again? Like I still get that. But I love what you said about I don't care if it was a $2 dress or a $4,000 dress. Like it is so important because people are putting themselves out there. And I know in our community, in the drag community, there are people that think that if you don't look a certain way or do certain songs or dress a certain way that you are a drag queen. I disagree 100%, and I stand on that. And I tell my drag kids that you be who you are. I'm going to give you what I know, and now you go and create your own art. I'm sure you don't want little kitty litters running around. I don't want little Momma Ashley's running around. I want them to be themselves.
Well, actually, I think there already is a kitty litter fan club that dresses like me. I, I don't understand it, but Lord bless them. No, yeah, I just think at the end of the day, um, drag is about everything. It doesn't really know a gender or a body type or any of that. It's just you. It's your self expression and how you choose to put that out there. And find it all to be amazing.
Absolutely, absolutely. David wants to know, Kitty, do you think lip syncing is a good place to start in drag?
Do I think lip syncing is a good place to start in drag?
Yes.
Well, I guess, I say know your words, first of all, to anybody out there. Unless you have pull a Valentina and have your mask or a fan. I think that lip syncing is a great place to start, but it doesn't have to be. I guess it just depends what your forte. Some people are great storytellers. Some are great singers. Some have makeup skills to die for. So you start on that base and cut your way up into whatever. But I think if you are going to go out on a stage to entertain people, then you absolutely have to practice that. That you can't just go out there and think that everybody's gonna be wowed, because drag's such a competitive market. It's like 5 gazillion drag queens when there used to be five. So you
Yeah.
really have to set yourself apart. And I think being your own self is very important in that process, because like you said, if everybody paints themselves to look a certain way or whatever, it gets kind of boring and generic. So what sets you apart is what's going to make you special.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. And yeah, nothing I can add to that. I mean, it is about knowing your words, but at the same time, I love what you said too. Some sing, some are great storytellers. Our friends Party Favors, they are so talented.
Oh, I love them. We were supposed to be going on a cruise together, and I guess now we're going to be doing that maybe next year.
Yeah, which I'm trying to get on that ship too, trying my best because it's going to be out of Florida. But I sing live, I tell stories, I lip sync, I do a little bit of all that. So you got to figure out what your forte is. Stephanie has a great question. Says, for both of you, what inspired you to start Storytime, and what's the most rewarding thing that has come from doing it? So I know you said that you were asked to do it for Pride, and you just kind of did it, and you've loved it.
Yes, that's true. Initially I was asked to do it, but it just became, it was such a fun thing at first. And then after the adversity happened, the support that I got from my community, who said, and even from people throughout the world who had heard my story, and they said, yeah, we are behind you 110%. It made me know that it was something worth doing, because um, most things that are worth doing are going to come with adversity. But it just made me want to continue and not crawl away and say, well, I'm going to be afraid of the scary, mean people, which is anything to do. And I don't fault anybody for it. But for me, it just made me all the more determined that if I know that I'm doing something that isn't wrong, then somebody isn't going to tell me that I can't do that.
Exactly. I think for me, when I moved to the city I'm in, I met a group of family, and they asked me if I was willing to do drag story time, and I had never really thought about it. I've always been family friendly and all age appropriate and all my stuff, and I had never really thought about it. And actually, a little not common knowledge, and I've not said it to a lot of people, I have always had a fear of reading out loud. Reading was a struggle for me, and but I knew it was something that was needed in our town. I'm from a very Lakeland, Florida. I mean, Polk County's very red and very conservative, but becoming more progressive. So I was like, if anybody is going to do this, I'm going to do this. So it took me 2 years to actually do it. And when we did, we had 70 people show up. And I remember literally almost hyperventilating and crying in the dressing room, in the back room, because I was scared, because it was still an inner struggle for me reading out loud. And I remember when that day was over and the kids were just in awe of my costume and awe of the story. And we talked about rainbows, and we talked about it was so inspiring. And then it just got easier as it went along, and we talk about bullying, and we talk about love, and we talk about acceptance. And to me, what's rewarding is not only little kids, but I'm seeing adults' lives being changed by the stories, by the topics, by the things that we talk about. So for me, what was rewarding is just seeing that people's lives are touched, and also people that are straight or allies or weren't allies before and now are allies. Like, we're just seeing so much of that. So for me, in such a rural area, just seeing the lives change. And that's why I do what I do, period. But I'm telling you, and I remember, and my husband can tell you, I almost had to not do that story time, because I'm like, I am mama and I'm supposed to be a good reader, and I'm having to read in front of these kids. And it just has become natural. And I skip them. I stutter and I read the wrong words, and I'm sure you do. And we all do, we go with it. But it was for me, was such a thing to conquer personally, to know that one of the reasons I was brought to Central Florida was to do that. Let's see.
I just think that's inspiring that you overcame those challenges to be able to get your art out there, and that's what I love about drag. I just think people be able to do that is amazing.
Yeah, and I'm not the normal drag queen. You're not the normal drag queen, and us being different sometimes can be a struggle. We get overlooked, or we get, what would the word be? I'm trying to think. Like, people take it for granted. But we do it the reason we do it. I know for me is giving back, and your story of what you did for the community, and for the AIDS movement, and for kids now, it's inspiring. And we have a voice as drag queens and drag entertainers, and we choose to use it.
Which reminds me, I'd like to take this commercial break to say that Black lives do matter, and also Pride, everybody. Happy Pride.
Absolutely. I got my love accepted wanted flag back there, my fan, and then I have my trans
I will see
flag.
you are ready for this.
I do. We've been doing Pride Month all month, and I've moved to Storytime. I do Storytime every Sunday. I have now for 12 weeks. Doing it live, reading the stories every week, and I love it. I love it. Let's see. So David says, Kitty, your words are beautiful and important to me. I connect with your thoughts. I can't always afford to spend a fortune on costumes. I can only just afford to display my inner woman. She wants to be recognized and acknowledged. So absolutely, David. And drag is something that you're going to have to create, David. You're going to figure out your own, whether you're going to be drag queen, whatever you're going to be doing, you'll figure it out. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight, and it's constantly learning. And I'm sure Kitty can tell you, I know myself, even 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 18 years ago to now, if you look at all those pictures, I surely don't look the same. I've evolved. I think I have a little lag there. Did I lose you, Kitty? You there?
Catch that last part.
I think I lost you. You froze for a second. I didn't know if you fell asleep on me or the internet.
The internet.
Yeah, exactly. Well, awesome. I think we're going to go ahead and just close out if nobody has any other questions. I'll give them a minute to kind of chime in. Do you have any closing thoughts? Is there anything you want to tell people? Anything that you want to share aside from what you've already shared?
I just want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in. Not tuning in, that's a whole other thing. But tuning in. And I'd like to thank you for having me. It's an honor and a privilege to have you as a friend. I just think amazing entertainer. And I want everybody to stay strong out there. I know these are difficult times, I know that some days you just don't even want to get in the morning. I feel it, but keep your chin up. I'm keeping both of mine up. We gonna get through this, y'all. Brighter days are ahead. You just gotta stay strong. Be sure and vote. What else? And
Vote.
just be safe. Be good to yourselves. That's all I got.
Absolutely, absolutely. And anybody that's watching, whether you watch now or you watch later, and you want to send Miss Kitty some money, you can do so at their PayPal. If you send it to my Venmo or Cash App, just put Kitty Litter in the subject, just so I know who to give that to. And we would love to be able to send her some money. And of course, Kitty, your granddaughter says, "Love you, love you, Kitty."
Oh.
Awesome. Well, Kitty, just hang right here for you. I'm going to close out and I'll chat with you offline. But I want to say thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight and your questions and your commenting and talking. Please check out Kitty Litter stuff. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook. Send them some cash. Send them some money. Help a girl out. And as always, don't forget tomorrow we have our mental health break at 12 o'clock online Eastern time. And as always, you are loved, accepted, and wanted. I love you all, and we'll see y'all soon. Bye, everybody.